Welcome to Retro Rants. We about to go ranting here, son. For those of you here on the bunker, the backup used to be the backup channel. Now it's a primary channel where we just do things differently. Is A&W root beer the best root beer out there? Oh no, son. But it is on sale. So there we go. It's on sale. So we are going to go a ranting. And I have to kind of tiptoe a line here because I'm going to be talking about consumerism today. But I should say ultra consumerism because I don't think there's anything wrong with a certain level of consumerism. I'm not anti capitalist. Somebody last week, we were talking about resellers who go in and buy up everything to throw online. Well, that's capitalism. You must not like capitalism. No, there are certain things about it I don't like. I love the United States of America. Same concept. There are certain things about America that I don't like, that I wish were different. To me, this is ticket scalping, or this is not having kids, but going out and buying all of the Tickle Me Elmos at Christmas just because you're obsessed with money. There's something broken. There's something wrong with you. You're chasing money way too hard at that point. So, no, there's certain things I don't like about it. But yeah, capitalism is the way. But we're talking about consumerism today, okay? Consumerism is a big issue in this country for a lot of different reasons, I think. So, it used to be that you were buying goods for means of survival. Go watch a Western. I encourage you to go watch a Western, actually. Start with Gunsmoke. It's a good one. Go watch a Western, watch how they go into the general store, and they've got a list of things, and they're like, I need everything on this list right here. And they need it because they need it. They need it for survival. Maybe there's a few things on there. There's some licorice sticks or some hard candy, or maybe there's a little bit of root beer, good root beer, right? Sarsaparilla. But most of it is about, I need this to survive. I need this to go through the day to day. And somewhere, and I'm not sure exactly where, but somewhere we made this transition in this country and we got away from that, and industrial revolution probably, and we got into this obsession with chasing material things. And so it's not about survival anymore. It's about displaying your status in society. You know what I'm saying? And again, I have to tiptoe and be careful here. There's nothing wrong with having nice things. Some people are into cars, they want a Corvette. Personally, I would go with a Mustang, but some people are Corvette people. What are you going to do, right? Some people want a bass boat because they're constantly fishing. Some people are into retro games and they've got very expensive game systems because that's what they're into. That's what brings them joy outside of, sunrises, sunsets, nature, and your family. There's nothing wrong with having nice things, but are you treating yourself or are you treating other people when you buy stuff? Because again, most of this stuff ends up in landfills. Most of the consumer products out here, it's kind of, which we'll get into, it's rinse and repeat, and it's nerve-wracking after a while. It's nerve-wracking. Right now, Stanley Cups. Y'all know what I'm talking about, these Stanley Cups. Stanley, they've been a company forever, it seems like. They had the puke green or baby poop green stuff, the lunch boxes, the thermoses, and all this stuff. And I remember my daughter asking for a Stanley specifically, and I'm like, you talking about the work thermoses? Yeah, I've got a couple in here under the cabinet. And she just had to see them. Oh my God, seriously. And then she saw them and she said, no, not these. And I'm like, but these are Stanleys. These are what you're asking for. No, because these are not status quo. Now they've got to be certain colors, and they got different prints on them, and people are just locked in on these for whatever reason, because I guess it's, again, the status quo. This is about getting a Stanley, posting a picture of yourself holding it online. Hey, look what color I got. But when you get down to it, what kind of joy is that actually bringing? By the way, cheap plug here. They're not paying me to say this, but Royal King has a great brand. And they keep ice frozen just as long as the Stanleys for pennies on the dollar. I'm just saying. But hey, I'm not one of these weirdos that ties consumerism into global warming. A lot of people are against ultra consumerism. It's bad for the environment. I don't necessarily tap into that crowd, but I do tap into the crowd where I think consumerism is bad for anxiety and it's bad for depression. I know a lot of people, how can I say this nicely? They're very unhappy. You can be around somebody for 5 or 10 minutes and you know, and you get that they're trying to compensate. Maybe they're in a bad marriage, maybe they're all of a sudden they're empty nesters. I mean, there's a reason that middle-aged women go out and they color their hair and they get nose rings and rings in unmentionable places, right? And men often go out, let's be honest, and they jump on sports cars because they want to be young again. They're compensating for the fact that they're getting older, right? And they think this is going to bring me joy. Having a Chevy parked out there that's going to break down every 2 months, son, that's somehow going to bring me joy. But it doesn't. It just deepens the depression. It deepens issues that I think people have. Then you factor in social media. Let me ask y'all a question. What was the original purpose? Does anybody even know anymore? What was the original purpose of social media? I remember MySpace. I had a I had a floor supervisor. I worked at Dish and I worked on the customer escalation team. It was my job to calm people down when they were really pissed off for good reason, right? But I remember my floor supervisor, everybody else on my team, like 30 some people, we were having a banquet one day or potluck. Potluck, yeah, because I always bring cups to potlucks. Just saying. It's cheap and easy, but I digress. The point is, Eric was his name, and everybody else had MySpace. And he was like, "How about you, John? You on MySpace?" And I'm like, "Nah." And he said, "You're like me. MySpace is in the recliner right in front of the TV." But originally, social media was there to bring people together. Reconnect old friendships, reconnect people from high school. But look, son, it ain't that way anymore. It's not that way. Social media has gotten to a point now, and I know it's funny, I'm on social media talking about it, right? But where else? Where else are the eyeballs? Um, it has spawned generations of vain people, right? And hopefully, I pray I'm not one of these people ever. But the look at me crowd. Hey, look at me. Look what I just bought at the store. Hey, look at me. All of these people, these influencers, I see them on the news sometimes, and they'll contact like a hotel in the Bahamas and they'll say, "Hey, I've got X amount of followers. If you let me stay there for a week free of charge, free of charge, I'll plug you on my Instagram." These people are so full of themselves. And, you know, you, me, those people who think that they're God's gift or whatever, we are no more important, or no more special than the next person. You know, maybe you got a nicer car, maybe you got a nicer house, maybe things are clicking on all cylinders for you right now. But still nobody wants to see pictures of the lasagna that you're eating. It's not that, I promise you, it's not that interesting. If you're one of these people, I don't know. I just, no matter what you just bought or no matter how many subscribers you have on any of the social media platforms, it really doesn't matter at the end of the day. Are you happy? Are you happy? Are you really so full of yourself that you've got like 200,000 subscribers or something crazy, and you're able to post and everybody's telling you, "Oh my God, I love what you did. I love that you shaved your neck," or "I love that you just bought this Corvette." Like, seriously, seriously, these people are just as bad as you are. If this is taking place, somebody had to tell you. Don't be mad at me. I'm just a messenger. And I do not ever want to be like one of these vampires. This is not like YouTube. I like being able to sit down and have conversations and connect, but as many of you know, I'm a very different type of YouTuber. I don't push likes, I don't push subscribes, I don't push merchandise. Um, I don't want to be one of these people because I know what I want. I know what makes me happy. I'm rambling a little bit, but I promise you there's a point here. I know what makes me happy inside. It ain't being a salesman. It ain't reaching a certain number of subscribers on YouTube. Oftentimes, more times than not, because I'm not going to listen to some mealy mouth troll out here. I don't put out a big post complaining about trolls and can you believe somebody? I just block them. It takes like a tenth of a second, and I just keep going. So oftentimes, I'm losing 2 or 3 subscribers here and there. Sometimes a lot more than that, but it is what it is. Ain't nobody trying to be famous. I'm not trying to open the next Buc-ee's or ribbon cutters. Who cares? I don't care about any of that stuff. I'm focused on the important stuff in life. The rest of it is meaningless to me. I'll give you a perfect example of what's wrong with the world today, and there's a lot wrong in Joe's America, especially. I went to watch the WWE. Now, this has been months back before WrestleMania. Went to watch it with my son because, he's into it somewhat. The only picture that we have from this event, I forget what they're called. The people that show you where your seats are at. Forgive me, I cannot remember their job title right off. But we went down there and we were trying to get close to the ring because we didn't have front row seats or something. Prepper Nation don't roll like that. And this person was so nice. This lady was like, if you want, you can stand here in front of the ring and I'll take y'all's picture together. So I have a picture with my son in front of a WWE ring. The rest of the event, we watched it like with human eyes. What a concept. While everybody else had their phones out, filming it, uploading it, putting on social media, taking selfies. Hey, look where I'm at. Nobody cares, bro. Nobody cares that you're at the event. If they wanted to be at the event, either they would have bought tickets or they could go straight to the WWE and pull up a video feed that's not choppy. What you've done is you've taken an experience away from yourself because you're a cell phone zombie. To me, I know this is a strange parallel, but to me, it comes back down to consumerism. It comes back down to the status quo. Why do people go to events and concerts and film and do the fish lips? Why are they doing it? Same reason they're collecting Stanleys, the same reason they chase Jordan tennis shoes, same reason that they chase certain brand name pocketbooks, because everybody else is doing it. You cannot tell me there's a single person alive that believes Starbucks has better coffee than anywhere else. So why would you go there? Because you want to be able to post on social media. You want to fit into and with the tribe. And this is one of the negative effects, I think, of the consumerism mindset. There's always a new product. This product is always something that is must have, right? It's like I've heard this expression before. We're just rabbits. We're in a rat race. We're rabbits, and they've got this carrot dangling in front of us, and it's always there. We never actually catch it because the moment that you work enough and save enough and buy that new Corvette or Mustang, I'm just throwing it out there. There's a new Corvette that's coming out, and it's more upgraded than the one you got. And all of a sudden, you like the car less, and you're thinking about chasing the next new thing. And oh my God, let's talk about advertisements for a second. This is another reason I do not like consumerism the way it is here in the United States. You cannot go anywhere without seeing an advertisement. They're everywhere. You go into a store, you hear the propaganda, the advertisements on the PA system, right, on the loudspeakers. You go to the gas stations now, they have a video screen. These people cannot stand the thoughts of you having 2 or 3 minutes to yourself without advertisements. They don't want you sitting down watching television. You can't go out to eat now without TVs being all over the place showing advertisements. They're all over your phones. Obviously, we know this. They're all over social media. Trust me, I know. I get hit with them too here on YouTube. The advertisements are everywhere. Nothing makes me want to buy a product less than to continue to see the ads over and over and over. The one I've been getting hit with lately is the Liberty ads, insurance, right? Where she's talking to the little baby. I'm so sick of this ad. I would not get Liberty insurance at this point if it was half price, just because I'm so sick of this ad. I've considered, and this is a big step for me if I go this route, because I'm gonna have to get rid of a lot of stuff. I've actually considered some form of minimalism. You guys familiar with minimalism? Minimalism is this crazy belief that happiness does not come from things. So I have certain things. I'll show you real quick. It's sitting on my desk that I can reach. This, it's a dragon. Now some people are going to say, "Oh, that's evil, John. That's blah blah blah." It's not evil. That is the last thing my mom bought me before she passed away, and it sits right there on my desk. Show you what else sits on my desk. It's me with my kids. The Tennessee meet and greet. There's certain things that have sentimental value that I actually care about. But 90% of the stuff that I have, I know that I don't need, I never use. It serves no purpose in my life whatsoever. It does not make me happier whatsoever. So with minimalism, you afford yourself whatever number. Let's say 5 outfits for the spring, 5 for the summer, 5 fall, 5 winter. You want to buy a new outfit, you replace and get rid of one. Maybe you pick 10 things to keep, that you actually care about. So board games for me, books, obviously, one key in on one retro console. You just minimize things down till you realize what you actually enjoy and care about outside of family, obviously. What 10 things bring you joy, and then you freaking get rid of the rest because it's all distraction. And what this does also is it stops you from wasting money incessantly on things that you don't really care about, which is I think it's a huge problem in our society. Again, I think it leads to depression. I think depressed people often buy things. They try to, I've heard it called retail therapy. I actually heard one of my wife's friends say that. But it's leading you down a false path because you're still going to be in the same spot. You're just going to be a little broke or a little more in debt. Consumerism emphasizes a focus on the wrong things, I think. You know, instead of sitting around obsessing over the new pair of Jordans that's coming out or the new pair of Pit Vipers, I should be sitting down thinking, as a husband and a father, how can I be a better husband and father? What's a cool way that I could spend time with my wife and kids this week? This kind of stuff. Because I know for me, it's about life experience. How can I be a better person? How can I improve myself as opposed to let me go buy this $500 video game system because that's going to bring me a lot of joy, right? There's this tug of war though with time, and sometimes I hint at this um when I'm talking about homesteading. Some people they'll straight call you out because they're homesteaders. They're like, you need to be homesteading. You've got a prepping channel on YouTube, yada yada yada. And I'm like, but I don't want to be a homesteader. Again, for me, it's a tug of war of time. It's not that I couldn't. It's not that anything's too hard for me to learn, right? With enough practice. I just don't want to do it because every minute that I'm out here doing something else is a minute away from the people I care about. And so there's this constant tug of war. My kids aren't going to be at home much longer. Do I want to be out here basket weaving and making coats out of goat hair, or do I want to be hanging out with my kids before they leave the nest? This sort of thing. Um, but this constant rat race, you know what I mean? It's like you work insane hours. Now, granted, in Joe's economy, you almost have to in order to buy food and buy stuff just to survive. But I'm talking about in a normal world where we don't have a toddler in the White House, mentally speaking, a toddler in the White House. You work insane hours. A lot of people I know work 50, 60, 70, even 80 hours a week, right? And then they'll go out and they'll get a bass boat. Or the big thing around here is they'll go out and they'll get like a Harley Sportster because they've always wanted a motorcycle, they think. All right. And they think that that's going to make them happy. And I guess it does for a couple of weeks. And then it just sits there and it's parked. And this person's still unhappy. And they move on to the next thing that they want, and the next carrot, and the next carrot, and the next carrot. They just remain unhappy anyway at the end of the day. And it's just like this process that it's rinse and repeat. I'm unhappy. I'm going to buy something because people on TV make it look like it's going to make me happy. I'll use it for a little while, then I throw it over in the corner. What's the next thing that I need to buy to chase my happiness? And we need to be focused on what's really important, is a point I'm trying to make. And I think consumerism, to an extent, is good because, again, it's an offshoot of capitalism. But at some point, consumerism is bad. And I think that our world is totally obsessed. I give you a perfect example as a born again Christian. Okay. Focus in this country used to be on the creator. Now it's on the US dollar. You can only worship one or the other. You know, you can only be focused on the creator, or you can be focused on chasing the newest, shiniest thing of the world. But you can't really do both because you're going to fail at both if that's the case. And let's face it, again, getting back to it, most of the stuff that you buy is going to end up being sold at a yard sale, going to a landfill, or being dropped off at a thrift store anyway, you know. And after you do it, after you drop this stuff off or you throw it away or you sell it at a yard sale, think about all the time you lost chasing these items, thinking these items were important, thinking this stuff was going to bring you happiness. You're never getting that time back. You might sell something in a yard sale and recoup some of the money, but you're never getting the time back. Never getting time back with loved ones and stuff like that. So, anyway, that's my rant for the day. Please let me know what you think in the comments. Y'all take care. God bless.